Hey guys, if you've never planned a cruise before, you are going to find this video very helpful. I'm going to be taking you through all of the steps from the beginning to the very end on how to plan your first cruise. And if you're a veteran in the game, maybe you'll get some new tips from me today. So let's begin with research, okay? Research is going to be very important. You're going to want to look up a lot of different cruise options. If you kind of sway toward a certain cruise line, then begin there. What time of the year is best for me? What kinds of cruises am I interested in terms of destination? I think that's like the first question you need to ask. What kind of vacation do I want to have? Is it a relaxing cruise? Is it one where there's a lot of adventure? So think about the destination. Do you want to do Caribbean, Alaska? Do you want to do the Mediterranean or some transatlantic kind of cruise? Once you decide that, think about what time of the year would be best for you. If sailing during, hurricane season is an absolute no-no for you, then don't even look at that date, right? If you want to go during your birthday, that's a certain month of the year, then, keep that in mind when you're doing research. You may also want to research the kind of cruise that you're going on in terms of the actual ship. I know some people are very picky. They don't like the older cruise ships because they're smaller or they have less fun amenities. And then other people love the charm and the more intimate feeling of a smaller ship. So it's really based on your preference. Some other considerations are, is the cruise ship kid-friendly? Is it good for families, or is it more geared toward adults? Is it good for couples or honeymoons? YouTube is a great place to research a cruise and what their offerings are. So just type in, Norwegian Dawn, and there'll be a ton of videos. So research is always where I think you should start. And from there, we can move on to step 2. Now, step 2 involves you starting to calculate the costs for this trip. Don't just say, starting at, $800. Don't think that that is the actual cost for the cruise. You want to go further into the website and click on the actual stateroom that you are thinking about staying in. Veranda rooms cost a lot more than an inside room. A room with a balcony looking at the inside of the ship for those large mega ships is going to be less than an ocean view room. You'll also want to calculate the cost of eating at a special restaurant or having a spa treatment, gratuities if you want to pay them up front, just include that in, as well as if you're going to have a drink package or go on certain excursions. Excursions, especially if you book them with the cruise ship, they can run up some money. So you're going to want to research that and calculate all the costs to kind of get a grand total of how much this trip is going to cost you. Once you figure out how much the actual cruise will cost, you need to research how you're going to get there. Unless you live next to the port or close to the port, driving distance, you're going to need some type of travel, whether you're flying in or taking a road trip to get there, or the train or what have you. So you want to also research and calculate those costs for transportation as well as hotel. If you're not staying close by, you need a hotel. You need ground transportation. How are you going to get from the hotel to the cruise port? All of these things you need to factor in. So I know what you're thinking. It's a lot to plan, but lucky for you, I have made a free travel planner for cruising. I have put together how I budget my cruises, how I plan my cruises in a nice succinct document, which I have linked down below. So if you check down in the description, you will find my travel planner for cruising. It has a budget sheet. It has all of the step-by-step information that we're talking about today. So feel free to use it. All that I ask is like and subscribe to the channel. That's all. It's free, and I hope that it's helpful to you. The next step is simply to budget and save your money. If you are not ready to book the trip right away after doing the research, you may want to save up some money to get there. But once you're ready to purchase your trip, that will be the next step. But before you go and press that book button, there's one thing you need to do, which is take off time from work if this applies to you. You don't want to book your trip and your boss is like, no, you cannot take those days off. So make sure you put in PTO, paid time off, or vacation. That way you are good to go and you don't have to have a showdown in the office, okay? Now it's officially time to start booking everything for your vacation, which for me is a very exciting time. I know some people get a little anxious, lots of details going on, but let me just give you a tip, okay? I always say to book your flight and your hotel first before you book your cruise. The main reason for doing that is because flight prices fluctuate like crazy. Once you type it in, just even to research it, the price goes up. So cruise prices tend not to fluctuate as quickly. So get those flights down first. And flights usually have like a 24-hour booking cancellation policy. So you can cancel up to 24 hours after booking. So if things don't go according to plan, you can cancel. Hotels are quite flexible, although I have noticed lately, everyone's increasing their prices. Hotels are no exception. They now have where you have to pay like a cancellation price fee. So it's a little bit more than the standard rate if you want to cancel like a few days before your arrival. So the next step is to book your cruise. Hooray! For me, I just love the days when you just press continue, add to cart, done, complete. It's one of my favorite parts of it, just feeling like I'm officially going on this cruise. A lot of cruises, when you're booking, especially if it's far in advance, they give you an option to put a deposit down so you don't have to pay for the entire cruise on the day of booking. So you could put a deposit down and then pay as you go. So if that's an option for you financially, by all means do it, but usually there is a cutoff day for when it needs to be paid in full, and it's not the day you go. Usually it's like 30 days or 60 days before you travel. So you'll want to make note of that. I have included that kind of part on the budget sheet that I've linked down below. So make sure if you are paying as you go, you're doing the deposit route, make sure you know what the final day of payment is. During this time, you may also want to pay for grats up front if that's something that interests you, as well as book your car rental and ground transportation. So how are you getting from hotel to port, or any other kind of transfers that you may need to think about? You'll want to book now so that everything is done and you're just on countdown mode. You may also want to consider travel insurance. I think travel insurance is a great idea. Life is so uncertain, so you never know what may happen. Sometimes, you may have a travel insurance policy already with your life insurance or health insurance, so please check into that. But if not, a lot of cruise ships are offering their own travel insurance, which can be quite pricey. But yeah, just check into that. The next step is booking your shore excursions. Back in step 2 or 3, I recommended researching what you might be interested in doing, but this is where you actually want to book them. Now, for some cruise lines, you cannot book them like the day that you book your cruise. You have to wait until maybe 90 or 60 days out. Sometimes there's like a tier system, so it unlocks earlier for those with I know for DCL it does this. So if you're like platinum or pearl or concierge, you can do it a little bit earlier than if you're just silver or a first-time cruiser. But every cruise line is different, so you're going to want to make note of the days when you can begin booking your shore excursions if you want to do it with the cruise ship. You can book your shore excursions through a third-party company, but I would always stress the importance of finding a reputable one. So you're going to want to make sure that they have tons of reviews. Check them out, see if they're a part of Viator or one of these big travel excursion kind of websites. So look for reviews. You want to make sure you get back to the boat on time. You don't want to get left behind or be one of those dock runners that you see, the viral videos going around. You don't want that to be you. So A lot of people go through the cruise ship because it's a guarantee that they will make sure they're back, or at least wait for them if they run into any difficulties. But for certain ports, it would be okay. So for example, if you're going to an overnight port, so if you're staying, overnight, 2 days in a port, then going with a third party company, I think would be fine, because the boat's not leaving till the next day. But just make sure that they're reputable. Like I said, look for 4 stars or more, and make sure that they're not charging you more than the cruise ship, obviously. The next thing that you'll want to do is to book any dining reservations or spa appointments. On Disney Cruise Line, you may want to do the rainforest room, which is now available on the app. You don't have to wait till the day you get on board. So these are all things you want to do in advance. So keep a kind of sheet, which I have in my cruise planner, of important days. You don't want to miss out on an excursion or a special activity or experience because you forgot to book on the day that it opened. So keep important dates down, when it's going to go live, when it's available to book. Set a timer in your phone so you can hop right on it. You may also want to book a photo package or reserve that for yourself or your family. A lot of the time, 99.9% of the time, the photo package is going to be cheaper before you board the ship. So get onto that little sale that's offered. When you get on board, everything just jacks up, the price goes up. So book that before you get on board. As well as if you want a drink package, if that's applicable to you, book that as well. Usually they're cheaper before you get on board. The next step, we are getting to the end, I promise, is to follow up on any outstanding balances. So if you took the deposit route and you're paying as you go, make sure that you pay on time. You don't want your cruise to be canceled on you. So follow up with any outstanding balances. And then the final step is to enjoy the countdown and start packing, because you, my friend, are on your way to a wonderful vacation. So I hope that you found the video helpful, and I intend to do a lot more cruise kind of videos in the upcoming weeks. I'm going to be diving into some packing videos because I'm trying to pack light, but honestly, the struggle is real. Every time I'm like, I'm going to take on a carry-on, I never do, but I'm going to try this time and I'm going to share it with you. So yeah, hang around for some more travel videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.